Spawning here in the lower left corner of the map. He's our scumbag. No, he's not our scumbag. He's our hero. Playing for oGaming, it is Spydo.
And his opponent from Clarity Gaming, it is in the blue, Sabre, SC2. So
The Sabre,
ZVZ.
well, I don't know. I'm trying to remember, like, if I know too much about this guy, but I do remember he's young. He's either 16 or 17. He's a really cool guy, and I've been talking to him for quite some time on Twitter. And if you guys enjoy his playstyle, I'm going to give him a bump because we're friends on Twitter, guys, at SabreSC2. Go check him out sometime. He's a really friendly guy.
And actually, that transitions perfectly into don't forget to check out both of these clans on Twitter and on Facebook, and they have their own websites. I'm sure they'll link it in chat here, but for oGaming, it's Team oGaming. For Clarity Gaming, it's Clarity_Gaming, pretty much everywhere for both of them. Please give them a follow if you're enjoying it. These are the development teams, and the next level up from here is the A team that goes to all the major tournaments and stuff like that. And that's actually interesting because Sabre apparently is currently being looked at for being picked up by the A team. So if he does well here, that's just another notch in his belt, better chance at that. Spydo apparently was a last-second replacement for his team, but he's typically their Zerg ace. So,
Putting out the big guns early, man. Could be a challenge here for Sabre.
And both with a pool down, none particularly amazing timing. Really the only difference thus far is the gas.
Well, actually, a key thing to note about the pool first is I think these players are just going to play super safe this game. Whether this evolves into aggression or not, the opening is you don't go hatch first if you think your opponent might 10 pool. If you think you might come with an early all-in, if you go hatch first, you're asking to lose the game. So by going for a 15 pool, you can hold off a 10 pool, you can hold off any sort of really stupidly early aggression, so it's definitely the safer way to play. Although it's weird to consider Zerg being greedy, because, like, they're the race that's going to have 9 bases on the map anyways, and 100 queens, and too many drones, as players like Snoot will show us.
Yeah, and I mean, there's an opportunity on this map with Zerg who wants to take that third base is typically, you know, the one that's either directly to the south or directly to the north of your other 2 bases. It actually leaves an opportunity to attack off of 2 bases for your opponent, and it can be really dangerous.
Absolutely, and you know, or the thing about Derelict Watchers, it's such a deceptively small map. It looks a lot bigger, or sorry, it looks a lot smaller than it is, but even so, the Overlord Highway on this map is really critical. You need to be able to see where your opponent's coming, and one thing I'm a little worried about is Sabre is putting his Overlord very close, and a very early queen could snipe this off. Some players will go out of their way to miss an inject just to make sure their opponent doesn't have an Overlord outside the front of their base.
And definitely having that advantage of not allowing your opponent to see when you move out of your base is kind of huge.
First
and Zergling does manage to get its way up into the base of Spydo. So Sabre now can see that one gas has been taken, the other has not, and scouts the Baneling Nest as well.
The Baneling Nest is really not too telling, though. There is once upon a time where if the Baneling Nest is in the back of your base, that means you're trying to hide it, you want to do aggression, but both players making a ton of links right now. I think almost responsively to that scout, more so than any sort of actions that were coming prior. But a lot of players now have been putting their Baneling Nest behind their mineral lines to keep it safe. It used to be you'd put it at the front of your base, you have that nice little wall off, you know, the double evolution chambers, and the Roach Warren have kind of taken its place. But you used to have, like, you know, the Spine Crawler, the Baneling Nest, hide everything behind it, all the good jazz. But one thing to point out here is Sabre, it's actually going to be without speed for this scuffle. He's got Banelings, which should be great if he can get them, but Speedlings, man, they're not easy to catch.
Yeah, and once he gets on creep, it's going to be even harder, so I like the position that Sabre's taking at the front here, but the Banelings are coming in. Actually, nice
Some really nice target fire.
All the way into the main, though, is Spydo's force, and the Banelings from behind doing a little bit of damage. Sabre actually has all of his Zerglings.
Sabre actually just threw away his last Baneling. Oh man, now he's just going to play Ring Around the Rosie for a long time here, as these Speedlings are much too quick for the Slowlings to catch. And while they're going to chip away at buildings, they should be able to pick off a drone or two and then keep running away.
Oh, they could have got us around there on the Queen. Don't decide to go for it. Actually, Spydo really losing a lot of these Zerglings quicker than maybe he
No, there we go. He's starting to pick off those drones here. Not too many, but still some. Really, though, that attack, not worth it in the end. Maybe if he had picked off the spine crawler or something, but Sabre, with some really nice detonations of his own, managed to keep himself in there. And the big question is, what's the transition going to be here, Ord? It's kind of like coin flippy. Do they go Mutalisk or do they go Roaches? Seems to be Roaches more often than not nowadays, though.
It really does, although all 3 gases getting thrown down at the same time for Spydo makes it look like he's thinking Mutalisk, most definitely, if he wants to get all that gas. And Sabre actually not even putting down any more gases, not moving towards Lair at all, seems to be happy with Zerglings.
Well, this is where it gets a little problematic. If Spydo can keep his opponent on Zerg Baneling for long enough, Mutalisks work quite well because you snipe off your opponent's Banelings and suddenly your Zerglings win the day. But right now, Sabre is going to throw down that Roach Warren. A very low-cost investment, works out quite nicely, and pumps the heck out of your supply, but of course, does not shoot up if that's the tech path Spydo's going to take. Spydo's lair is still finishing up, so we got to wait a moment here to see, but if it was going to be Roaches, I imagine with 4 gas, we would have already seen the double evolution chamber, but we haven't.
Oh, and the Roach Warren here is actually in a fantastic position. Those Banelings were so close to blowing up right on top of Spydo. The third base now is being taken by Spydo as he pantomimes with this aggression. He really doesn't have enough to make that much of an impact right now, but he's staying forward, keeping Sabre back. Well, he was. Now he's on the retreat. Doesn't want to overstay his welcome.
Yeah, and one little scary factor is the fact that we got not just some Roaches, but so many Roaches coming out. This is going to make it very difficult for Spydo to pick them off and go aggressive. I mean, you can kill Roaches, they will go down, of course, but they're pretty tough effers, if you will pardon my phrasing of that. They don't go down too quickly to the Mutalisks.
Yeah, in this portion of the game, it's definitely true. We have both players essentially at the same income rates still, even though the third base is on the way. Oh, some Banelings there for Sabre, not able to connect. Spydo really does not have enough to handle it once these Roaches arrive in this third base. This is kind of what I was talking about, how it just seems so vulnerable. It's going to finish up, but there's just not going to be really any response out yet.
It's not even the third that's in danger, it's the natural. There's nothing to shut these Roaches down yet. The Spire timing is a little bit delayed because of how long it took that layer to finish. We're not even going to have Mutalisks on the field by the time the Roaches are inside this base.
I actually don't like the fact that he's playing around at the front of the base right now because he's given the Spire time to finish. He's giving Larva more time to come out if they are going to be anything defensive. But, ooh, nice Banelings out of Sabre so far. Decent concave by Sabre as
nice
well.
transfuse. Keeps it. It only got an extra hit off, but still might have just been enough to drive this back with these Lings. Somehow, Spydo's going to barely hold on to this. The Mutalisks are now on the way. They're halfway down. They're going to pop here in just a moment. The Roaches are very low. He should be able to clean this up. But right now, Sabre needs to kill drones and get out.
He is targeting firing several of them right now as they transfer over to the third, but here are the Mutalisks. Great split up by Sabre. It's going to force the Mutalisks to go in different directions.
Yeah, look how slow these Roaches are dying. I mean, this is very difficult to clean up, and a lot of damage has been done here. Sabre taking a commanding lead. I would have loved if he had just sniped off the third base, pure and simple, but he did enough damage to the natural that I feel it really justified his choice.
And actually, as it turns out, he will be able to take down the third, and Spydo's not mining from his natural at all.
Oh my god,
1,300 income to the 500 income of Spydo.
25 workers. That hatchery goes down as well. The Mutalisks are going to clean all of this army up, and I feel Sabre needs to start pulling back and building some spores just to get safe. I mean, he's got a couple on the way, but 2 spores will not hold off Mutalisks for long. He could actually snipe this natural. Going to target the drones instead, though. Oh, there we go. Swap to the natural. Hatchery is going to just barely live.
157 there, and there's a lot of Lings here who are dedicated to the idea of killing it. Only 2 damage actually he's managed to be done.
He's funneling in a little too much, too little rather at a time, and now, right now, Spydo's got this very commanding lead on the field. What does Sabre have that he can deal with this other than static defense, Ord?
Really nothing, actually, and he just invested mostly in drones, just 10 more drones, wants to continue to mine up on the 2 bases, laying down another spore crawler. They do build fairly quickly, which is really the only nice thing that he's got.
It's the Lings that are scary, and the Mutalisks doing what they do, and that is sniping off the Banelings. There's no answer to these Lings. We got 16 about to pop, but even then...
many mutas.
Oh, the Spore Crawlers are killed before they can even complete. No Cans goes down either. Middles, of course, avoiding the Spore Crawler in the mineral line. Like I said, he needed more Spore Crawlers early on. This is rather painful.
Roaches are coming out, though. They do manage to distract the Lings at least for a little while. Sabre still continuing to mine. He's got 800 minerals actually in the bank. He just doesn't have any larvae right now as it stands. Loses that natural hatch.
And he positions the Spore Crawler a little bit too late. Now these Mutalisks might actually lose 2 here at best, but still, yeah, the Queen goes down, the Hatchery is down at this point. Sabre playing off of 1 base. He's got these Spore Crawlers, but he's got no answer for the Zerglings still. And all these poor drones.
If it looks like Clarity Gaming's gonna pick up a game.
You mean oGaming? Because oGaming's got 0.
I do. CGO and OG, they just want.
I know, it's pretty much dyslexia at its finest. Now the Hydralisk pop, albeit a little bit too late.
At the last second here.
Yeah, I mean, he's losing so much to this. Meanwhile, he's done a little bit of a counterattack of his own. He's going to try and snipe off that hatchery with those roaches, but a transfuse.
Double transfuse actually got laid down there. Without that, it would have died. And Sabre may have had something. I don't know. It would have been 1 hatchery against 1 hatchery at that point.
If Sabre had picked off this hatchery, he would have been back in this game in a heartbeat. But right now, Spydo's got a massive drone lead. He's got a whole base up on his opponent. And Sabre's going to try and reestablish that hatchery as soon as he can, but he's going to lose it if he does. Beetle's coming in for round 2, going to snipe off the spawning pool. The Hydra's a little too late to respond to this.
Yep,
oh man, this hurts.
Going down. There's nothing else that can be produced.
Yeah, no gas available. Loses the drone, trying to build at the natural. These Hydralisks are all he has left. An Overlord goes down as well. And Ord, I hate to be that guy, but I'm pretty sure this is GG at this point.
Pretty sure it does look that way indeed. Spydo's going to continue to clean up stuff on the outside. Little sad face. And that's game. oGaming Spydo takes the victory.